financing available. Spring into action now. Don't miss these deals. Go to golfcarts.com.
So the summertime is finally around the corner. I know it feels a little bit gloomy today, but before you know it, you're going to be out poolside, at the beach, soaking up that sun. And of course, you want to do it in the safest way possible. So we're very happy this morning to have Dr. Abby Russell, Dr. Victoria Collier, who are here with Galen Dermatology to kind of give us some tips on skin safety and talking specifically melanoma, because is May kind of Melanoma Awareness Month, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So you hear that word, and I think for understandable reasons, people get rather frightened because melanoma by its very nature is pretty aggressive.
Yes, unfortunately, melanoma is one of the leading causes of skin cancer-related deaths. So the majority of melanomas, if caught early, are treatable just with a small surgery in the office. But unfortunately, it can lead to death.
So let's talk about that early detection, because first of all, is it always going to start as a mole? Do skin cancers begin as a mole?
Not always. So the vast majority of people are going to actually have non-melanoma skin cancers, which isn't necessarily what we're talking about today, but those are going to be more pink, sometimes scaly. So we definitely want to check that type of thing out.
Okay.
Melanoma is more likely to come up from nothing, but you can also have a mole you've had your whole life that becomes a melanoma. So either just a brand new mole that comes up or a mole you've had that starts changing would both be concerning.
So like I'm a freckle person, but I'm not a mole person. My husband is Italian, he's a mole person.
Yeah.
So would it be wrong for me to think, oh, I might not be as susceptible because I don't really get moles? Would that be a false idea for me?
Yes.
Okay.
So
you can chastise me on the air.
Well, there's certain things that do make you more at risk for melanoma. One, having fair skin, light eyes, freckly skin, and just if you have any kind of redheads in your family, that actually means you have a genetic susceptibility to melanoma, unfortunately. Now, if your husband, who has the darker skin type, if he has more than 50 moles, that puts him at higher risk of melanoma as well. So you both are at risk for melanoma.
Okay, so I guess like everything else in life, the key is get screened on kind of a regular basis. Is that a good idea to do?
Yes, and so melanoma and skin checks are a little bit different than something like a colonoscopy, where we have very set guidelines. You know, once you're 45 years old, you need a colonoscopy. Skin checks don't have a guideline like that, and so what we like to say is if you have those risk factors, very fair skin, light eyes, more than 50 moles, a family history of skin cancer, or you just have a mole that you're worried about, then come in. It doesn't matter your age. You know, if you're 30, if you're 75, we still would see you.
Okay.
If you had a history of skin cancer, we'll typically see you every 6 months. If you look good, but you have a lot of sun damage, we would probably say just come back in a year or sooner if you notice something.
Okay, is sun damage, how do you define what sun damage is?
It's one of those things when you see it, you know it. But if you have a lot of brown spots, a lot of wrinkling that feels like it came up out of the blue, if you're noticing like very easy bruising, those can be signs that you've had a little bit too much sun.
Okay, so you did not come empty-handed this morning. Y'all brought a couple of products with you, because I opened up by talking about poolside and at the beach. So everybody does want to get a little bit of sun on them in the summertime, but the sunscreen is critical.
Sunscreen is critical. We spend a lot of time talking about sunscreen. Things you want to look for, definitely above SPF 30, so nothing below that ever. When we talk about sunscreen, we talk about mineral and chemical sunscreens. The best sunscreen is going to be the one you wear, so I don't get too hung up on that. If you do have sensitive skin, sometimes chemical sunscreens are going to be more likely to sting or burn or cause a rash, and so sensitive skin, you want to lean towards a mineral sunscreen. We just brought some that we like and recommend to a lot of patients, and you know the reason why we like these is they're both mineral based, which mean they have zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. And they're just cosmetically elegant. They rub in nicely.
They do?
So that's why we like these.
Because a lot of people, I'm glad you went there, because a lot of people when they hear zinc, my first thought was, oh, that's the white gunk that makes me look like I'm on a TV show or something rocking around the pool. But this blends pretty well, these two products?
Yeah, they've really improved the texture and the cosmetic look. And if you're really worried about it, the tint, just having a little bit of tint, it works on multiple different types of skin and skin color, but it gives you a
blends
little
well.
bit, yeah.
Because the key, like you said, the best sunscreen is the one you're going to wear.
Yes.
So I think sometimes we get confused too by the numbers. So you said make sure you get one that's at least a 30.
Yes.
Rule of thumb, if you're at the pool and you put some on before you go, one, should you let it sit in for a little bit before you get out in the sun? Should you put it on before you get to the pool?
Yes, so the chemical-based ones, like, the aerosol spray we all use, those do take about 20 or 30 minutes to truly soak in and be effective. The mineral-based ones, they are immediately effective because it's just a particle on your skin. So those you don't necessarily have to wait, but if you're gonna do the aerosol spray, I would wait about 20 or 30 minutes before
And
being in
then
the sun.
once you've put it on and you maybe don't get in the water right away, how often do you reapply?
I would recommend looking at the bottle because there is going to be some variation between them. Most of them are about 90 minutes. And it's important too to remember if you're doing the whole body, that's about 1.5 ounces. That's the size of like a shot glass. That's going to be the amount of sunscreen you're going to need to adequately cover your body. And that's to cover it well.
So, this is kind of a broad conversation for everybody. Before I let you run, only like a minute left, but if somebody is watching and they either are afraid they might have a concerning spot on them, or perhaps they've had a diagnosis of melanoma, don't panic, just get it treated.
Yeah, don't panic. Call us. We'll see you. We're happy to look at just a single spot. We're happy to look at your whole body if you're worried. But yeah, I mean, early detection is key with these type of skin cancers, so come see us.
And something else I'll let you know too, they treat the whole family. So children through adulthood, they can see, which is very beneficial because there seems to be hereditary factors in play. So I would think that's good for you to be able to see everybody in the family.
Yeah, it's helpful. Even though you may not need a skin check, it's great to just get established if you have other skin conditions.
And they are taking new patients. So it's Galen Dermatology in Hixson. 954-9017 is their phone number online, galendermatology.com. Dr. Abby Russell, Dr. Victoria Collier. Great to see you both this morning.
Thank you.
Construction continues on the 2025 St. Jude Dream Home. This house